he admits that our whole drive for discovering, find out what is that, was to actually show that chemicals is explanation of everything. We want to actually, we don't need God for explaining it. We want to show it. It can all be explained in chemicals. And the funny thing is, he thinks he did it, although he actually showed the most incredible design structure. It's a piece of a very ingenious memory. It's a memory stick, like we have our memory sticks with our computers. And DNA is a brilliant memory stick where there is a huge, enormous text written with chemical letters. And there's no way it could ever arise on its own. They're not even, they don't even have a theory how impossible it could have come on its own, not to speak of experiments showing that. It's like, you find text, you find written text in front of you. And the obvious conclusion is someone has written this. Like if someone takes a walk on the beach and the sand, there is something, something written in letters. Like, someone was there, they wrote something with their fingers in the sand. So nobody would say this was the action of the waves or something like that. Everyone will know that, including James Watson would also say someone wrote it here. So that's when you find written text, then you must conclude that someone has written it. So then demons would say, but if God was there, he would have, he must have made his presence more obvious. Why hasn't he written, something, say, here I am, or something left to. But the point is, right in front of them, the DNA is a long written text, and anyone with just common sense child understand someone has written that, must be God. And but Watson, he can see that he thought he had now demonstrated that life is just that you don't need any living principles to explain life. And you see also later on, he's still living. He's very old now, but he's still living. And see the statements on this is completely demoniac personality. And one of those who actually are also still promoters of eugenics, you know about eugenics and like that. He still thinks that a lot of the people, they should be eradicated, like that. Bizarre character. But yeah. Those who are devotees, they naturally understand, first of all, they know that Krishna is there, and also they can understand why he is interfering in this world, whereas others cannot understand why Krishna is involved in this world. But Prabhupada here he quotes Yada Yada Hi Dharma Shaglam Bharata Bhutanam Dharma Sachadatmanam Sudyamyaham, that whenever there is a decline in religious principles and an increase of irreligion in that time, I descend myself. So Krishna, he comes here to re-establish religious principles and to kill the demoniac, and he does that again and again and again. Because the thing is, the religious principles, they will always deteriorate. It's called Dhammasya Glani. They always tend to deteriorate. Something pristine, the pure, pristine principles of religion are established, and over time they just degrade. Just like we talked about, was it yesterday, the day before yesterday. Prabhupada introduced so many principles of cleanliness and like that. Actually in temples there must be very, of course, cleanliness is next to godliness, and the system that Prabhupada introduced, like for example, temple room has its own cleaning utensils. Each area has its own cleaning utensils, it's very precise how you clean. Somehow or other that can get lost, and even lost it here, but I want to have it back again. But I'm not too good at being quick, but at least that's the ideal. But that's an example of Dhammasya Glani, religious principles being established by the Acharya, and then it kind of, fizzles out here, it degrades. it's always there. So then again, Krishna has to incarnate to re-establish religious principles. Maybe he doesn't have to incarnate here to just get our cleaning utensils in order. Or maybe that might be the only way it can happen, because we do all to figure it out ourselves. But it's just when it gets too extreme, then Krishna has to. Then no one else can do it. Then Krishna has to come, either himself or he appears in a acts through an acharya or someone like that, empower someone. But Krishna is very much involved in this world. Actually, nothing is going on in this world where Krishna is not involved. Devotees, they can understand that, they can see how things are, it's at least, maybe they cannot always see why Krishna is acting the way he's acting, or he's causing things to happen the way they happen. That's actually very mysterious. Bhishma Dev was praying like that on his deathbed in front of Lord Krishna. I don't remember exactly the Sanskrit verse or precise translation, but he said that Krishna's ways are just very, very mysterious. Even great philosophers can exhaust their mental capacity. They cannot really understand why Krishna is acting the way he's acting. But the devotee has great, he's completely faith that Krishna has some great plan. And Bhishma, at that point, definitely could see what the great plan was. When they were in the middle of it, and the Pandavas were being persecuted, even though they were the greatest devotees, the most pious people, princes on the planet. They were loved by everyone, but they had to go through all these tribulations. It was completely unjust, unfair. I mean, there was seemed no righteousness like that. Why did Krishna have to do? Why did he do that to these great devotees? Then later on, you will see actually, no, there was a great purpose. It was Krishna was using his devotees as his instruments in accomplishing his plan of ridding the world of the unnecessary military forces, and ultimately he established Maharaj Yudhishthira as the king of the world. It was all Krishna's plan, but when they were in the middle of it, even Bhishma, he had a hard time understanding why is this going on. Why is this happening like this? And but not that he lost faith in that. It's like Krishna is having, Krishna is unfolding something, but actually he couldn't see exactly why did it have to be like that. It's also like that, and it's always like that. We might not always understand why is this happening. Why does Krishna allow this to happen to me or to others? And one can get some doubts and like that. Is Krishna really there? But not the devotee will understand that this is this is all Krishna's. Krishna has something in mind, and actually, the thing is also, if you have that conviction to begin with, and you start looking for it, actually, it starts making little sense. And you can see actually it's Krishna has definitely great purposes in what he's doing. Just like yesterday, I was driving the Kurt down to the Harinam, and then he also he has doubts about some things, and he had a doubt by Jaipatak Swami. Say, why did he something, and why did it have to happen? He's there, invalid like that. Why is that? And some always have that understanding. So why did it happen? Why did it have to happen to him? Maybe it's some sinful reaction. Something, or maybe he has committed some offenses or something like that. That's why. No. If you actually look at him practically, as far as I can see, he's preaching more than ever, and his position is preaching more from this position, more powerful than he did before. And I mean, he's already, he's definitely been a great preacher from ever since he joined, and he's done so much service for Srila Prabhupada, and he's actually, he's preached to, actually he's made hundreds of thousands of devotees in Bengal and like that, so always absorbed in, working hard for spreading Krishna consciousness. But the example that he's showing now in this situation where he's like, let's say, 95% invalids in terms of his body. His mind is completely clear, but his body is he cannot even eat himself. He needs someone to help him with eating. But he goes on. He doesn't stop him. He goes on, constantly engaged in service and preaching and inspiring others. So what an amazing example to see that. It actually really shows that devotional service cannot be stopped. You might because how would, I know what I would do if if I became 95% invalid. I would just, okay, just, wait until I die, and maybe I can have a tape running with some lectures going on and something like that, but actually engaging in preaching and traveling around the world and leading this project and that project, I couldn't do it. But he's doing it. Last year we were there for Parikram, and I remember one night I was up, I was involved with something with the temple project, new temple, where he's actually the leader of this whole exhibition part, and he was, we had a meeting of 5 of us or something like that, with Jayapataka Swami up in his room on top of the Lotus building. Isn't it there? Lotus building? Yes. And so we were up there, and then we were there until talking with him. He served prasad for all of us. We had prasad like that, and then it was about 9:15, then I went back and thought, it's late, it's really getting late there, because I want to go back to bed and go from Maglati. And his parikram is starting tomorrow, and then when I came out the door, there were like 100 people sitting outside on the roof, waiting for darshan. They wanted to. So then afterwards he came out. He was supposed to come out. So I'm sure he came out and he spoke to these people, and I'm sure it was not just 5 minutes. He must have been there for a couple of hours talking with them. So he must have gone to bed quite late. So I got up and I was a little tired, and because and in the morning like that, and then the parikram was starting there. And we went. The first thing we went for parikram. We met at Yoga Pit. All the those who went to parikram were started at Yoga Pit, and we were there for like 7 in the morning. Everyone was there for Yoga Pit. When Yoga Pit for the parikram to start. Jayapataka Swami was there. And we got to bed late, and then he came out. And of course, he's driven in a car. He's pushed around in a wheelchair, but still to show up and to be part of the parikram. I mean, to me, it's just amazing that someone has determination like that. So I just thought that's an example. You could say, someone say, why did Krishna allow this to happen? But that actually demonstrates, he has, his great determination and like that. And you could take so many other examples. Why does this happen to this devotee and that devotee and like that? But, I mean, we should not have any doubt that even whether we can understand it or not, Krishna is there involved, and he's using his devotee as an instrument in his plan, and he's also glorifying his devotee by his actions. That we should be convinced about. And actually, then we start looking for it. Actually, yes, it's true. It's actually true. This is what is going on right in front of our eyes. And so actually that faith, you might say, that conviction, it's not just blind faith, it's actually conviction when one understands the nature of Krishna and how, not even the blade of grass moves without Krishna's sanction, and also understand what actually this Krishna consciousness movement really is. It's not a mundane movement or something like that. It's Golokaya Premadana Harinam Sankirtan. Sankirtan is directly manifested from the spiritual world of Chaitanya's. It's Krishna himself starting this Sankirtan movement, this age of Kali. He's sending, he comes himself, he starts a movement, he spreads a movement on a large scale, and then later he sends different, acharyas who like generals in this Sankirtan army going on, one after another. He sends them. Last he sent Srila Prabhupada, he sent Bhaktivinoda Saraswati, he sent Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he sent also previous acharyas like that. And when one understands actually what that is going on, then this is a completely transcendental movement going on in this world, and therefore it is directly under Krishna's internal energy, under the control of Krishna's internal energy. So even though all kinds of seemingly strange and weird things happen, but one should not be bewildered by that or think that anyway now it's not no longer under Krishna's control. Or it's not, it is actually this Sankirtan movement, this Krishna consciousness movement is as transcendental as it has always been. It's just like the Ganges, that we should understand. The Ganges is always pure. And even if there is filth in the Ganges, and foam and dead bodies and stools and industrial waste being pumped into the Ganges, actually is still pure. And you can test it for yourself. You can actually take a bottle of Ganges water, you can drink it, it's pure water. It's it even stays pure. Ganges water, you put in a bottle of Ganges water, you can leave it for a couple of years, you open it, it's just as fresh as when you put it in the bottle. Other water doesn't stay fresh like that, it becomes stale and rotten. Ganges water doesn't. There's something mystical about it. I mean, that's even, even sailors previously, they knew that there's something about Ganges, so they would have Ganges water out on the ships in the ocean because that would stay fresh. Other waters would not stay fresh. And you can test it. I've had bottles of Ganges water at home and have kept them for years, and they're just as fresh. Why? No one knows, but that's Ganges water. We know it's transcendental water. But this Krishna consciousness movement is actually like that, even though there are seemingly all kinds of imperfections and so on going on, because it is involving conditioned souls who are imperfect and so on. So it's like a hospital. There will be disease in a hospital. You cannot complain and say, why is there so much disease in the hospital? But that is a function of the hospital to engage with diseased people and cure them. And sometimes it doesn't, sometimes there's a failure, and even sometimes in a hospital the disease gets out of control. They try to control the disease, but sometimes the disease suddenly controls a hospital, and there can be an epidemic at a hospital. It can happen, but that doesn't mean the hospital as an institution, as a principle, is it is definitely still a hospital as such. ISKCON is similar. It is a completely pure transcendental movement going on this planet, and if one takes part in it, one will get the benefit. One will become purified. If one completely surrenders to it, one will become a completely pure devotee. But anyone who gets in touch with it definitely gets purified and gets, their life on the way back to God has already started. Exactly how? Krishna is in control. Krishna is in control of each and every devotee, and arranging things in their lives. Some are, just going easily along with Krishna's arrangement. Their advancement is very quick. Someone is resisting, and then it becomes a more slow path. Krishna is there involved in the lives of each and every one of us, and all those millions and millions of people on this planet who have got in touch with the Krishna consciousness movement, and it's many. I mean, there is something like 500 million books of Prabhupada's have been distributed on this planet. There are, I mean, something like nowadays, they say 7 million, I think it's higher. I wouldn't be surprised, like 10 million people today are involved in the Krishna consciousness movements at some level. You know, chanting, practicing Krishna consciousness, reading Prabhupada's books, associating with devotees and like that. And Krishna is involved in each and every, in the life of each and every one of these devotees, or aspiring devotees. And sometimes he makes arranges, crazy things to happen, seemingly crazy things from our point of view, but there's a purpose behind it. And the devotee who has that faith, just go on, no matter what, and achieve life's highest perfection, to be pure love of Godhead, which is really what has been offered here. Nothing else has been offered, but pure love of Godhead is what has been offered to everyone. And that, if one takes to this practice of Krishna consciousness, one will develop pure love of Godhead. That is guaranteed. Anyway, I just have to stop here. Any questions or comments?
Yes, can you talk about the definition of a pure devotee? When Prabhupada talks about pure devotees, sometimes it seems like it's a low standard, or it's there's a lot of pure devotees, and everyone who's practicing, following the process is a pure devotee, and
our acharyas speak like that also. The example is Baladev Vidabhushana has one definition of pure devotee, and Vishnu Chakravarti has another definition of pure devotee. According to Vishnu Chakravarti, pure devotional service, and pure devotee starts with prema. Unless you're on the prema platform, you're not a devotee. You may be trying to become like that, but you're not a devotee. It starts with prema. From there, that's where the pure devotee is. And you're not on that platform, you're not a pure devotee. Baladev Vidabhushana, his approach is that anyone who is, who has the goal of attaining pure devotional service, he's already a pure devotee, and he's trying, even though he's still impure, but he's trying, so that's a pure devotee. So you see Prabhupada is using both, and we can also, and both are correct. It's not that it's contradictory. Prabhupada gives the example, mango, even though it's green, unripe mango, but it's still a mango, and just it's a matter of time, then it will also be a nice, sweet, ripe mango. So someone who is a new devotee, neophyte devotee, he's already a pure devotee, but it's just a matter of time before he's actually, really pure. Anyone who has completely surrendered to Krishna, saying like, "Dear Lord Krishna, from this day on I'm yours, do with me whatever you like," he's already back to Godhead. Krishna has taken completely control of him. He's under Krishna's protection. So that's a pure devotee. But still, you see many surrender to that like that, but then they run into all kinds of difficulties and might even sometimes seem to leave devotional service or the association of devotees. But it's but that's also, they're still under Krishna's special protection, and it might take a little longer like that before actually they are really, on the completely purified plane, but they are on the way. So it's so you see, sometimes it's used anyone who simply is sincerely trying to become pure devotee is already pure devotee. Sometimes it's said that only those who actually are really on the prema level, that's a pure devotee. You can use generally you use it like in general when we talk about devotees in general and encouraging others like that. Yes, we look at it in the liberal way. we see that actually, yeah, they are definitely pure devotees. They're sincerely trying. When we look at ourselves, then we should take the strict standard, not be satisfied. I'm such a contaminated and dirty rascal, and I don't have any love of Godhead. So one should, generally it's good to be, have a lenient outlook at others and a strict outlook at oneself. And then again, also you can be in a situation if you are a guru or you're an authority like that, you're dealing with someone. If someone becomes proud or fault-finding and like that, then you can also point out that you're speaking so much, but you're not a devotee. You're not a pure devotee. Well, how can you speak so much? Then you can use it in there, like to show this is you're not. You should actually you're so preoccupied with finding the faults of others like that. But look at yourself. You're not a pure devotee, and it's not and you're turning in the wrong direction. You don't become a pure devotee by being a fault finder and criticize. You have to turn around. And love of Godhead is the other direction. Becoming like a critical fault finder. That's actually it's actually going the wrong direction. It's a way back into material existence. So like that, and it's okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Jai. Sri Bhagavatam Ki.
Jai.
Sri Prabhupada Ki.